don't be Superman.
Yeah.
Don't try to be Superman. Your client's not going to care that they got $150 back on inspection when they lose the property.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of the bidding wars. Things get crazy.
Yeah.
These things get nuts. This is Laricy Live, and I'm your host, Matt Laricy, giving you unfiltered access to the world of real estate. We cover market trends, news, and give you the honest answers that will keep you ahead of the real estate game. What are we talking about today?
Multiple offers.
No.
Bidding wars.
Bidding wars. Today we're talking about bidding wars. It's not bidding wars and multiple offers is kind of different. Multiple offers are multiple offers, and bidding wars is when things are getting a little crazy. So we're in the spring market, which we thought would start January 3rd, and that's exactly what's happened. We have the bidding wars have began, and we're all I'm in a bad mood today. I'm in a frustrated mood. We've been getting outbid on stuff. We've lost a lot of deals recently, and it gets you a little annoyed. And I know it's part of the business, but it doesn't make it easier. So what we're doing is we're talking about what's going on with some of these bidding wars and how these things react. And we brought Jamie, what's your last name now? McDougal?
It's Price. I'm not married yet.
But the new last name is going to be?
Daly.
Okay.
Jamie Daly.
Close.
Okay. I don't know. What
Short
is it?
and sweet
McDougal?
still.
McDougal? I knew it was an Irish name. And Catherine Halbrook? Holbrook? I think it's Halbrook. I tell everybody it's Halbrook.
It's not.
Okay. Well, one of these days we'll get it right.
Yep.
So Jamie writes up most of my contracts, and Catherine occasionally writes up contracts for herself. So we thought they'd be good to talk about multiple bids. So, Catherine, what are we kind of seeing right now? What are we seeing in the marketplace with a lot of our listings and buyers and stuff like that?
I would say anything in any of the neighborhoods in the city, like anything from like 6 to 800,000, all multiple offers, probably selling before it even hits the market. And then single family homes kind of in like that $1 million to like 1.2, same thing. I mean, you can't even get into them. You have to go like when the listing agents are scheduling showings. There's like no flexibility.
Tuesday at like 4.
Yeah. I mean, I have a client going out of town this weekend. They're going out of town Saturday, Sunday. I asked if we can get in any time this week before the Saturday block showing, and there was like a hard no. So,
but see, like that's the big thing now. Is like in October, November, December, agents they'll like literally bend over backwards to try to get you into a place, and now it's like I'll only show it at X time, and then it sells before X time.
Yeah,
because they let a few exceptions in.
And it's like I had another one too where I had clients coming into town this weekend. I asked if they would do any showings earlier, and the agent wrote me back and said, next weekend, we're going to sell before then.
Yeah, it's the...
and they hadn't even shown that property yet.
The problem I have with the business in general is just like how dramatic people get. It's like every agent tells me in October, November, December, the world's going to end. It's a different market. And things just aren't going to be better this spring. And then if anybody actually watches these podcasts, I've been saying that spring market would start January 3rd. And now every broker I meet is like, oh my God, I cannot believe like how spring market started so early this year.
Yeah.
And I was telling everybody since day one that spring market was going to start January 3rd. And this isn't rocket science, guys. The reason bidding wars are happening is because everybody's leases come due end of March, April, May, first part of June. Rates are going up. Rents have gone up 25% since 2020. So people come back from holiday juiced up, ready to go. And as we've been saying since last August, these first 5 months of the year are going to be crazy. And now we're running into cocky, crazy bidding wars. I mean, Jamie, what about we had that one listing, remember, at 928 Montana we couldn't give away? Like literally couldn't give away.
Then we had 3 offers on it
in
January when we relisted it.
So, and you kind of got to know, like, if you're a buyer that really only wants a deal and needs to pay like market value, and you're buying in like, the smaller buildings, that's where the hot stuff is, then you wait till the fall and you'll get a deal and you'll have room to negotiate. But, if you want the best quality inventory, you're going to have to deal with the most demand. And technically, I'd say a lot of people are overpaying in some things. And I tell people, I'm like, listen, like, how much more do you want to do this? Like, the way I look at it is like, if you got to pay $1 million for something that you kind of like, but you got to pay $1.020 million for something that you really like, does it really matter?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, like, you're overpaying by $20,000, but like, who cares if you like it?
Yeah, and especially if they plan to stay there a long time, like there's not a huge difference in payments, and you're going to be there, for a while. So yeah, who cares?
But there's I think when we talk about these bidding wars, there's drastically different markets happening right now, because there's different locations and different properties are more competitive. Jamie, you're kind of seeing which ones are we seeing that are more competitive than others?
Definitely ones outside of the city. You have a lot of high rises, and they're not as competitive.
Yeah, like our high-rise stuff, it's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
But like the ones on the outskirts of the city, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the biggest problem that we're running to when we talk about bidding wars is that we're doing a podcast about bidding wars, and we have clients and seller high. I know you're probably watching this and wondering why is my property not getting a big more, but it's a high rise. Like high rises, it drives me crazy. I don't understand that you could put a high rise on the market today. It's worth $550. We put it up at $5.25, and we get like maybe one showing every 14 days.
Yeah.
And we'll put up a listing in Lincoln Park that's worth $5.25, and we'll put it up at $550, and it sells at $575. Mm-hmm. Like, so somebody's paying $50,000 over market in Lincoln Park, but they won't spend $50,000 under market in River North.
Or more than that in some of these high rises.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I got a unit out there right now. I will give this damn thing away if you guys want it. 500 West Superior, 2110. You could take it. I've had like 4
No
showings
balcony.
Yeah, no outdoor space,
It's got a wine room.
which is also the 3rd bedroom. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen,
it's a nice place.
Bachelor pad.
That place is going to be the death of me someday.
Told
but, you know, my point is that, like, you know, if you really want to feel like you win and you don't want to be in one of these crazy bidding wars, I mean, then you're going to go to the outskirts of the city. But otherwise, or you go to the heart of the city. But otherwise, like, you're going to overpay for something. It's not going to be a crazy overpaying, but I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens this summer compared to now. You know, people are going to be like really, really crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of my buyers are kind of putting their searches on hold now. It's like a little deflating for them, and like people that I would say like really seriously looking are like, let's wait for like a couple months. So I mean, I don't know with like the inventory coming out if there's going to be stuff that they even want to buy, but I mean, typically it usually slows down in the summer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, well, let's clip this so we could show this in June. Okay,
Yeah.
So now it's like mid-February, and I'm telling you right now, what's going to happen. Okay, so like right now, inventory feels like Nordstrom Rack. There's not much out there. Okay, there's a few good finds, and then when one comes on, it's a feeding frenzy because everybody's freaking out that interest rates are bumping up like 0.01%. So everybody's rushing in to buy today, and the average consumer thinks the best time to list is March and April. So all of a sudden, like, let's call it end of May, June's going to hit, and the market's going to come to a screeching halt. I'm telling you right now, June, July, and August, we're going to have 50% less showings than we have today. One of the main reasons is, Jamie, what are you doing this summer?
I have a lot of weddings, and I'm getting married in September.
Oh, you're getting married. I would have never thought she's getting married. I haven't heard about this wedding at all. I planned my wedding in one day, just so we know. Okay, like got a spreadsheet out, did it. It was
you're
easy.
different.
I'm different. It's just you negotiate the thing. You put down what you have to do, and you do it. Like that's it. Done. It's like looking at.
I don't go into let's not get into my wedding.
It's like looking at paint. Okay, like just choose one color. But the point of my wedding tangent with Jamie is the fact that, you know, they're saying that this summer is gonna be the busiest wedding season of all time. And you have some vendors that told you this?
That is 100% true. I have 4 weddings.
Great
that I have to go
timing.
to this
Great
summer.
timing, Jamie.
and
Just
all
to
the
break
plan
it
it.
to you.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
all the delayed weddings though from the last 2 years
Yeah,
was a big,
correct.
big
2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Don't forget that hook.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. All of a sudden, June's gonna hit, and every single person out there is gonna have a million weddings. I don't care how old you are. You can be 45 years old. Your friends are getting remarried at that point. Okay, you can have a lot of that. As of now, Europe and Asia, this could change. Okay, but I'm pretty willing to bet that it's not going to. Europe and Asia have given up on COVID. America hasn't yet, but the rest of it has. So guess what? People are going to do international travel again. People are richer than God right now. They got a shit ton of money. So people are going to be traveling. Delayed honeymoons.
Yeah.
Delayed all this stuff. People who want to travel and see the world. And there was a huge population of people who were nervous to travel last summer. And last summer was the busiest travel season of all time. And I think this summer is going to be an even busier travel season.
Yeah.
So do you know what that means is going to happen? Do you guys know?
There's going to be a lot of bachelorette parties as well.
Anniversary parties. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's
That
going to
there's
a
not
bachelorette
going to be a
party?
lot of people looking for
That's
places.
correct. That's the point of this bidding war tangent that we're going on. Is that like people are going to be busy with life.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be out traveling and doing stuff. And that's what happened last year. Don't you remember? Like last year we had more showings on Mondays and Tuesdays than we
Yeah.
had on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's true.
Yeah, open houses were super slow
Like
on
dead.
the weekends.
So
Yeah,
it's like
even
clients are-
hot properties. Yeah.
People are like, what the fuck? Like, why are we getting more showings on Monday than
Yeah.
we're on Saturday?
Yep.
Like, I remember Saturday, like everybody's like sitting around the office. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like we were averaging like maybe like 7 or 8 showings in the summer on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like we're doing like 80 or 90 of them on a Saturday right now. Like that's a huge difference. That's less than
Yeah.
half. Okay, and I think that's gonna happen. So if you're discouraged out there about bidding war, wait till the summer. You know, maybe you don't have, maybe you got to pay a little bit more in the rate. Maybe you won't have the inventory you want, but if you want to feel like a winner, that's what's going to happen. But for the time being, giddy up. It's crazy. And, when we're talking about bidding wars, what do we got to do to win? How do we win? What do we do in some experience?
I think like the personal aspect of it, like writing a letter, I think that's a big thing. Add a picture of you and your dog. But like the big things like dropping like the mortgage contingency as is. That's I think helpful. But like I think eventually it just comes down to price for people, and that's.
I think we waive mortgage.
I can literally go through every little thing you say to a buyer on how to.
There's 4 things.
Yeah.
Right.
It's price, mortgage contingency. You could do as is. You can write a letter. And also you have to remember that you have a very good real estate agent that's calling the agent,
Correct.
Bothering them, pestering them. And
we're going to close.
But I also do think there is something to be said for that, like having relationships with other agents throughout the city.
100%.
Yeah, and them knowing us. And then not even just to us as like the agent, but just our team, the lenders we work with, the attorneys.
And it's not, this isn't just like us. It's not like we're the greatest. Anybody out there's watching, if you got an agent that's well known, like it helps, you know? Because if you know John and John closes deals, it makes a difference. But if John's brand new and I hate to say it, but if there's 2 offers on the table and one agent's a brand new agent and you're working with another agent that's super experienced and people know who they are, guy or girl, like if it's me, my seller asks me who I'm going to choose. I'm like, I've never heard of John Smith, but like Jill Smith, I've done like 30 deals with, and like it's much easier to work with. That's who you're going to choose. Yeah. The other thing is like you got to call. You got like we're aggressive, like I hate to say it, but like I'm about as aggressive as it gets some days. It depends on what hour of the day it is. But
that is true.
We had somebody sent you an offer last night and not me. Like so, if there was a multiple bid, she goes to bed at like 9:00. Okay.
I didn't go to bed at 9:00. I went to bed at like midnight last night.
Okay, well, it was 11:00. I didn't see the email.
So you went to bed.
No, she didn't send it to me till like this morning. But my point is that like you're not even following the protocol. Like what if in that situation we had multiple bids, right? Mm-hmm. And we signed an offer last night. Mm-hmm. That offer in my mind doesn't even exist until this morning. Now legally, that doesn't mean we're not going to present it. Okay, I don't want anybody out there like this guy doesn't present offers. Yeah. Just saying like I would have known. We would have signed an offer and that would have came in. I can tell you right now, we've sold over, 120 some odd properties this year already. And on our listings, I can honestly count on my hand how many people have actually called me up and told me that they sent an offer over. Like a lot of times I'll be like, hey, I sent you an offer. And it's like I don't know about you guys. I don't have every single person's in the world cell phone number saved. I just don't. So like, I'm like, who is this? What property is this regarding? And they'll be like, it's John Smith. I sent one over on Chicago. Okay, what property in Chicago? Now I look like a dick, but it's like, okay, but we got three units on the market on Chicago. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, that place sold like a couple days ago. Like, I sent the offer 4 days ago. I was just texting to follow up. And I checked my spam. There it is.
Yeah. I think that happens all the time. And I wonder if it's like why they don't want to call. Are they scared to call?
I don't think
are they lazy
anymore?
Yeah.
I don't think they know how to talk to people on the phone or how to
I think people are nervous.
Yeah, like nervous to like actually negotiate the offer.
But like honestly,
it's very strange.
It's your biggest strength is that. Yeah. And I'll tell you, when I'm in a multiple bid, like I am annoying as shit, and I call them nonstop.
Yep.
Yeah, but I got to win, right? I'm in it to win it.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is like maybe one agent will be turned off by that, but I'd say the other 9 I'd be like, listen, this guy's going to close it. We close most sales in the city. It's not even close. So like the job is to close it.
Yeah.
That's it. But the reality is that if you're not going to call and present the offer, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Like what are you doing here?
Yep.
What's the point of this?
Do you call and then you say like any update if they don't answer?
Oh my God. I'm nonstop.
Yeah.
I'm like
question mark.
I still, even after I lose, I hate losing multiple bids. So when I lose, they get a call from me almost every day.
Yeah.
How's that going? What's going on over there with Johnny?
Did you do the inspection?
Huh? Inspection go okay? Remember who's in the background, buddy. Okay. But the reality is, listen, I don't like to lose.
Yeah.
I'm in it to win it. That's it. And it's like, to me, it's not even about like the money that we make or anything like that. I want to make sure my clients are happy. I want to make sure that we win.
Yep.
And that's it. And the thing is that like when I call and there's like, 8 offers on these properties, I'm always like, how many people called you guys up? That's what I always say to people. Like, how many of my competitors that I'm competing against, you said you got 8 offers?
Yep.
Out of the other 7, how many people are calling you? And most of the time they laugh. They're like, well, you're
0.
Well, Matt, of course you called.
Yeah.
Like I'm an asshole. But the reality is that's what you need to do. You need to arm yourself in these bidding wars to win. you know, and it's ruthless. I mean, let's look at, I mean, you're going to get fucked right now, right? I just put it that way. You know, I know swearing on these are bad, but, you know, you're going to get screwed over on these pretty big. I mean, what happened yesterday to us with, I won't say his name, but with our one client. So I'm still in a bad mood today. Oh. We went under contract. We're under contract. We're trying to schedule an inspection.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we lost so many deals in the last couple of days. It's
Can't
hard to
even
keep track
remember
of which one it was.
No, sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I called the agent, I texted her, I emailed her, I left her several voicemails, I messaged her through showing time, I kept resending the link for the inspection through showing time, and I literally texted her like probably 10 times, and I normally give somebody about 15 hours to respond to me because, you know, I know that people are running around, they have clients. Give them a second to respond because I know I hate it when somebody's blowing me up and I just need a minute to respond to you. Well, she got her enough time. So she wasn't responding to me. And I told Matt, I was like, I have called this agent. I've literally left her voicemails. He called her several times to schedule the inspection. And she...
We didn't get, no, here's what
Sent over
happened.
a cancellation.
She didn't send it over. Their
Her
attorney
attorney did.
sent over a cancellation.
With no call.
No call, no email, nothing. And this is the other thing. Like, if you're an agent watching this, like, honestly, like, that's a burned bridge right there. And, like, you know, like, I think if you want to try to make a name for yourself in this business, you shouldn't burn bridges with, like, people who do a lot of business. And, like, what we try to do, like, listen, we can't say that we never lose a deal. I mean, it happens. But when we lose a deal, I call up the agent. I apologize, you know, say, like, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, in that instance, you know, in this bidding wars of how crazy this could get is that, like, our client, we got it before the open house. They supposedly canceled the open. I didn't see it online anywhere. They obviously let somebody else in. And when we went under contract, they obviously got a better offer, and they signed off on that, and they canceled the deal that we had.
Without even giving you the chance.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's where the big, you know, misstep is that, like, the reality is that, you know, they didn't even call. So if you're somebody out there watching, what you should do is say, like, hey, I hate to break it to you guys. I know we signed a contract, but we got a higher offer. You know, we're under contract at 600. We got 610. Does your client want to match it?
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing out there. And then we should have the opportunity to be like, we call our client up. Now, the clients can be very mad because they just had an agreement at 6.
Yeah.
But I tell this is what I tell everybody out there. It's going to happen to some people watching this. You're going to get a contract accepted, okay? And then somebody else is going to come in higher after you've already got accepted. And you're going to either have to raise your bid or walk away. Now, you're going to be really mad, okay? Everybody's mad. I go fucking nuts, okay? But the reality is, I do.
Correct.
Listen, okay, but what are you going to do in this situation? If you're walking down the street, okay, and somebody's like, hey, excuse me, sir, stop. Here's an extra $10,000. What, are you going to stop and take that? No strings attached.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an extra 10 grand. That's exactly what happens in that scenario, guys.
Yeah.
So as pissed off as you want to be, as mad, I'm mad too. I don't want to see you spend any more money if you don't have to. But at the end of the day, it's 10 grand. Maybe it's 20 grand. Okay? Yeah. I mean, your letter might be nice. You're a nice person. We want to talk about karma all day.
Yeah.
But it's a doggy. I see people screw each other over for $100. So we're talking like $10,000 to $40,000. That's a car, you know? And it's going to happen.
And I mean, it depends, I think, for the buyers too, how much they want the place. If they want it, I mean, like you said, they're going to be mad, but they're usually going to pay it.
You're going to go up.
Yeah.
I remember every person that screws Matt over.
Yeah.
I remind him too. Every agent, lender, attorney,
Did you make a list?
any bad experience, I say, remember this deal with them, and I explain it, and he goes, I forgot about that. And he
I do have a
remembers.
running list in my Evernote though of people I've blacklisted. And I'll tell you right now, like I mean, that's why I say it is a small world, like in the bidding wars, is in the fact that, like, you know, like it is very personal with us. The reality is, like, the top like 20 agents do like 99% of the business in the city of Chicago. So like I would say that, like, for the most part, we have a very good business relationship with people, and that's going to be how it's going to be, because we all know we're going to work well. Jamie does a really good job when we go under contract of closing it. And, like, at the end of the day, like, people just want to, like, not do anything. But it's usually the newer agents or people who are, like, trying to climb to the top that think it's good to screw somebody over. And then we just end up screwing them back 10 times harder.
They're just, and I think it's not even them screwing it over. It's just like they're trying to be like the hero, in this situation.
Well, when we talk about tips in a bidding war, I'll tell you right now, if you're an agent out there watching this, or if you're a buyer, you should tell your agent, like, don't try to be the hero.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we're like, we'll take an offer, and in this situation, we'll get a higher offer as a backup.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, listen, we got $5,000 more. And there's, as much as I say, like, you know, most people take money, every now and then I got a client that I'm like, holy shit, like, you're not going to take the extra money? Like, wow, okay, like, you're a good person. Or
they're already like this far in the deal.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll tell the agent, I'll be like, listen, we have $5,000 more. Like there's one thing about me. I could be an asshole. I could have a temper. There's a lot. What other bad qualities we got? A lot?
Me to listen.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Really?
there's quite a few. But I'm not a liar. That is one thing I'll tell you. I'm completely always upfront about stuff. So I tell people this, and I'm like, listen, we got 5 in the back, okay? Do not ask for any inspection stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we want light bulbs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
GFCI.
I'm telling you. And then I call them up. I'm like, listen, I'm warning you.
Yep.
This is me warning you. If that goes to the attorney, my client's going to kill the deal and take the backup. And they're like, oh, okay. Your client's not going to back, like I'm full of shit. Like I'm making this up. And then guess what happens?
Yep.
They send it over. What do?
Cancel.
We cancel the deal. And we go with the next one.
And then they go nuts.
And then I haven't heard from them because they haven't been calling me. They've only been answering my emails.
Mm-hmm.
Then they call me up going nuts. I'm like, listen, did you not see the 35 correspondence where I told you, please capitalize, underscore, red, do not ask for this. And then they ask for it.
Yeah.
Don't be Superman.
Yeah.
Don't try to be Superman. Your client's not going to care that they got $150 back on inspection when they lose the property.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's part of the bidding wars. Things get crazy.
Yeah.
These things get nuts. Mm-hmm. The other big thing I hate about what's going on right now, what we're seeing is the amount of people trying to get into a property at once, right? When there's like a line.
At
there's
the
lines
open
at
houses. Yeah, there is. Or showings even too.
Yeah. Locust at the open house.
Yeah. There's like 4,000 people at these things. And what people try to do is they try to limit these showings because they think more people in at once. I actually I think it's good to kind of time block some of these, but I almost think that it's worse because right now that strategy works. Like these first 2 months of the year, it's great because there's low inventory, but when April and May, when everybody tries to do this, it doesn't work as well.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I had a buyer, we went to an open house like that. It was a single family in Roscoe Village. And they ended up not liking it. They're like, we could never host here. There's like 25 people and it's so small.
Yeah. But the other thing is I've had a few clients that probably would have paid more than I bet you. We'll see what some of these things close at. But some of them get discouraged too.
Yeah.
So okay, it's a
I agree.
$500,000 property, and the agent's like, I got 4 offers, and maybe they would have went to 5.25, and then they back out because they get nervous.
Yeah.
So the thing is to win in a bidding war, you gotta get a little crazy. You do. And just something that you kind of see. I mean, when you see a line of people in an open house and you were buying, what do you think?
I mean, the same thing. It would be discouraging. I think people think that there's going to be a ton of offers. It's not even worth probably putting something in.
Here's one thing to know, though. When you see a line in an open house, it's kind of like, think about it like public speaking. This is why I would say never be nervous when you're public speaking, okay?
Yeah.
Side tangent. But the reality is that 99% of people aren't listening to you.
Yeah.
People say picture yourself in your underwear or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you look around, most people are on their phones, you're not paying attention. The only time people are ever paying attention is if you aren't reading off a script and you kind of make your story more personal, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you have to think about it. So when you're giving a public speech, you shouldn't be nervous because nobody's really gives a shit anyways, okay? It's the same way when it comes to these tangents of people coming in the open houses.
Yeah.
You got 20 people in there, okay. 10 of the people are just going, they're starting day one.
Yeah.
No
Don't want to bother their agent.
Yeah, they don't want to bother. They're just
or
going
they don't
in.
have an agent.
Another 5 people, no intention on ever buying. They're renters. Okay, so you might have 5 people who are actually people who could write an offer, and then out of those 5, there's probably one other guy that you're going to compete with if you want the place. It's a way to look at it.
Yeah.
So honestly,
if not to be discouraged by it. Yeah.
Because the reality is there's not a lot of these ones that are actual real buyers, and in reality, unless it's something out of control, unique, or somebody's just stupid, it's rare that somebody just blows this thing out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you seen people go $30,000 over ask price for a place under $1 million?
Yeah.
But then again, what just happened with yours on that house?
Oh, so it was a single family home, Avondale. We went almost 90,000 over ask price, and we still weren't even the highest offer. But that's it was just stupid. I mean, much higher. They underpriced it, but
I'll give you an example.
From what they bought it for a year and a half ago to what they're selling for, I mean, they made a ton of money. So just kind of one of those. I normally tell buyers it's rare you see somebody go $25,000 or $30,000 over a place, under $1 million. But here's what's happening right now. We just saw this on a place, up in Lincoln Square, and the fact that it was a top floor unit with a roof deck. And the same exact unit to the T, same unit. Next door sold at $735 in the fall. Okay, the fall. Today it was on the market, private market, at $755. We offered $786. Okay, phenomenal offer, well above. Still.
And the agent called me and said we got well into the 8s.
It's crazy.
Well, that means somebody just paid $100,000.
Yeah.
That's an eighth of a percent over the last comp. So every now and then you're just gonna see somebody who just wants it.
Yeah.
I kind of respect somebody who's just like, fuck it. Like,
I'll do whatever I can.
Whatever it takes to get it. And that's
Yeah.
without an escalation.
I was just going to say that. I was saying, and the same with our situation. There's no escalation clauses allowed either.
I think when we talk about bidding wars, I think escalation clauses should be banned.
I agree.
I'll use them when my clients use them, tell me to use them. But like personally, and for everybody out there that disagrees with me, I don't care. I think if you're willing to pay for something, you should pay for it. I don't know why. It just puts me in a bad mood when I see an escalation clause.
It's like sneaky,
right?
kind of.
Yes, it does put you in a bad mood.
But it is just kind of sneaky. Like,
It's like, I'll only pay this if somebody else pays it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I always put myself in seller shoes. Like, okay, I got 900,000 only if somebody else gives it to me. But in the meantime, I just got 850. So like, I know this guy will pay 900.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, what's stop? And this is true. Like, because again, I know most people that I've met in my life are full of shit. And when it comes to this business, people are the sneakiest piece of shit in the world. I hate to say it, but it's true. You see this all the time. We see
I
people,
know exactly what you're going to say about escalation clauses.
but people,
with this.
who's to say for me to be like, hey, Catherine, let's say we got 850 is our highest offer, and I got an escalation clause up to 900,000.
Yeah.
Catherine, you could be a buyer. You can afford a $900,000 place.
Yeah.
Why not? You just send something over at $899. Why not?
Yeah.
And now you're paying $900.
Yep.
Am I breaking the law? Am I? Because technically speaking, Catherine could buy the place at $899. Mm-hmm. Now, does she intend to go forward with it?
No, but you would have an offer to
But
show
I have
them.
an offer.
Yeah.
It's not illegal what I'm doing.
No.
Now, I'm not a piece of shit, so I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm an honest person. I built my reputation on actually being caring and ethical about my job. As raw of a personality as I am, that's how I act, okay? Like, I'm very by the book. But how many of these realtors out there do you think are playing that by the book?
Oh, I think a lot of, I think
a
lot of them are not.
And
yeah.
you got agents out there that are saying like, well, escalation clauses helps me prevent my client from overspending. Really? Really? Do you know how many people? Do you know how many people we've taken listings over from where they've the day before we get the listing to them, they magically produce an offer?
Yeah.
You know, it's somebody in their office who just wrote it up. You think that doesn't happen, guys?
Yeah.
Like, come on, get your head out of the sand. It happens all the time.
I feel like buyers too that always put in offers with escalation clauses are usually the ones that are a huge pain or back out. Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah.
Normally, and I know people are going to say this, and my clients are great, and they've never had any problems. I'm great that you've had one.
Yeah.
So, you know, with the volume we do and what I see, in my experience, 8 out of 10 times the people that are escalation buyers are much more difficult than the other ones.
Yeah. Because they think they're overpaying.
Right.
They
and then they always
want all
want
this money back
Yeah.
at inspection,
That's
exactly.
and they're
And
like,
then-
well, I already paid this much money. Why
Right.
can't I get this,
Right.
and this?
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, you took it as is. Like, well, I overpaid over everybody else.
Yep.
You know, like, so sometimes those things type of happen. So like, you got to know, like, I mean, some of these bidding war things can get a little crazy. I mean, what do you say that like to somebody that when you know there's going to be a bidding, like a property comes on right now, 950 something.
Yeah.
And you know there's going to be a multiple bid, and they're like, I want to see it on Saturday, and today's Wednesday. What do you say to them?
Well, first you would try and get in there sooner if possible. If not, but I think kind of what happened with that couple recently, you know, as far as like pulling comps, maybe overpaying, kind of giving them like the, you know, advice of like, if you want it and, you know, it's not guaranteed, but go here.
Yeah.
If you kind of like it or okay losing it, go here. And if not, you know, you're going to be paying list price regardless. So,
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, like, something comes on today. I'm like, we got to get in there today.
Yeah.
And then
within an hour. And I tell clients too, because I think sometimes they feel bad bothering you for just one property. And it's like, nope, you know, we'll get in within an hour. Yeah.
We'll try whatever. But I mean, the reality is, like, we get them in. And this is what I do with people like to try to win. And I always say this. I'm like, okay, here's the comps, which are meaningless right now almost.
Yeah.
I'm almost like hate sending the comps. Like, here's what it is worth over there.
Yeah.
But in reality,
if you would have bought a year ago.
You're going to overpay. Okay. And if you're going to go, if you don't care if you lose it, you go here. If you like it, this is what it is.
Yep.
If you love it, it's this price. And if you can't live without it, it's this. Okay. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, we can't live without it. We'll go here. And I tell them, and I put this in writing. And the reason I put this in writing is because most of the time we get the places that we sell to them back as listings. Mm-hmm. So I'm saving myself in the future. So when I go on there, if it doesn't go up, I don't want to be the one to be like, well, you told us to go this high.
Yeah.
So then if they say I can't live without it, I said, okay, if it's 8, you know, we're saying it's, you know, only worth $775, you're willing to go to 8, you're overpaying by $25,000. Okay. You just have to know that. And as long as you're okay with it, and in the future you may lose $25,000, then it's fine. And it's a personal question. Like I would look at everything from an investment perspective. So like $25,000 to me, to you, and to you could all be different, right? I may think about 25 grand different than you, and you might think about it different than them. So it's like, is it 25 grand meaningful to you, or is it not? When you die, are you going to care about that on that property?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, then you pass. If the answer is no, and you can't live without it, it is what it is.
Yep.
But that's how you have to look at it when you're kind of talking about like, how do we win this stuff? How much you want it?
Yeah.
I think the other thing that you say too to people is like, if this sells today, are you going to be upset?
Right.
Yeah.
Or are you going to chase that for the next 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we have a lot of clients that do that. They're like, I wish I would have done that. You should have
gone
pushed
to
me
that
harder.
price. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not a pushy guy. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I arm people if you listen to me, I could get you to win every single time. Okay. No doubt. Every time. But are you going to be willing to do it?
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you you have to do it. I'm just saying, like, I always know what it's good. Like, I'm always within a couple grand of where it goes for, maybe almost every time, minus that house that just sold. But again, I did tell them what I thought it would actually go for. And it I bet you it went to where it went. But the reality is that, like, and you just got to make the decision. But don't be a person who then chases it. So when we're talking about this bidding war, like, if you really love it, but you're nervous a little bit, but you know it's what you love, just do it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we're chasing it for the next 6 months. And then guess what happens, though? This is the shittiest part about all of it. They closed at $1 million and it was only worth $970 at the time. Guess what happens when the neighbor comes on? My place is better than John's, and they just got $1 million, so I'm asking $1,025,000. So you can overpay for it, one way or another.
Somebody else, yeah.
Because the next person is just going to ask more. But if you can't live with that and you can't live with these bidding wars, you buy in the fall.
Yeah.
Like in the fall, like you'll be the only one looking.
Yeah.
That's it. Do you know? I can't tell you. And if you're a seller looking to sell, you sell now, because a duplex down in the fall is literally impossible.
Or
Literally
winter,
impossible. Like we get like no showings on duplex downs in the fall.
Yeah. Isn't it funny when we get like a request somebody cancels? We call them like twice a day.
Yeah.
Oh, we save them in a folder and follow up with them like a million times until they reschedule.
Like I can honestly say I don't think anybody follows up. And we have 4 people now that solely just works on like trying to sell this goddamn stuff.
Yeah.
Like right now some of it's easy, but like when we talk about these big wars, I mean, it's hard not to get, like, I keep thinking in the back of my head, like how mad I'd be if I'm a seller. And I am a seller. I'm a seller in a high rise right now. It's terrible. Like I keep thinking to myself, like, I got a place on the market for $1 million, and I really think it's $1.2 million property. And I'm seeing people pay for $1 million for a shithole in like West Town.
Yep.
And it's like that place is worth $800,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy the imbalance that's happening in the marketplace.
It's depressing.
It like doesn't even make sense. But I'll tell you, we're going to see a big change, because one of our biggest thoughts, our predictions for this year was we thought it would be called the year of the condo, right? Is that what I've been saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And inventory levels, okay, at the start of the year in the heart of the city was 8.4 months. Okay. So balanced market's 4 months. You guys know where the market is today as of February 1 for high rises? You've heard me say this on the phone 10,000 times.
I don't know.
She's got her headphones in half the day.
I can't listen to your voice 24/7 when I'm here.
It's down to 4.2 months. So that's half. So inventory levels have dropped by half within 1 month.
I did know that.
So
And showings are up.
yeah,
More.
showings are up 50%. That doesn't mean that we're up 50% on putting these things under contract.
Yeah.
But
it
just shows you that things are picking up. So, when we're talking about bidding wars and all this other stuff, again, to repeat it again, if you don't like getting into a bidding war and you want to feel like you won, buy in the heart of the city. It'll be the best. This will be the third best time in your lifetime to buy. I'm telling you right now. 2020, first time. Second time would have been a Great Recession. Third time is going to be right now. And I'll tell you, I've said this a million times. I've said it on other podcasts. And I'll say it again. History repeats itself. 2009 to 2012. What did everybody say? Come on.
Never.
I've said this a billion
high
times.
school in 2009.
Oh my God. I was selling in 2009, and every single person that said to me that nobody would ever own in America again, the American dream was dead. And that's what every single media outlet in the world said. Nobody would buy again. And then all of a sudden 2013 hit, and every media publication out there in the world said, buying's back, the American dream is alive again. And when I say it right now, it makes it look like I'm crazy, because you're like, there's no way with how hot the market is that people would think that they wouldn't buy in America again. Right now, I will put as much money on the table. We could draw up a contract for anybody out there that's willing to bet. I will take any bet you have it. I will be in debt for the rest of my life if I'm wrong. But 5 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to say, wow, can you believe that the media and everybody thought that nobody would go back to offices and nobody would go back to work again and that nobody would live in cities again?
Or in high rises.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many of my clients, I cannot tell you, and you've seen this firsthand, how many clients we have coming back. That bought in Hinsdale and all these places. Like, my office went back, we're going back to the office. And I'm like, really? Because you told me you were fully remote from now on.
Yeah.
Do you guys really think you're going to be fully remote for the rest of your lives? Because it's not going to happen. I'll tell you right now. People like people. If I'm going against you in any single role and I get the chance to meet you face to face and you're trying to Zoom them or call them, I will win that battle 9 to 10 out of 10 times.
Yep.
Okay? And when two offices go back and one's fully remote and their team doesn't know each other, they're not seeing each other, and the other team is out to at the office all the time, in-person meetings, going to grab beers after work, they're jiving, okay? They're going to outperform this office. And then when this office falls behind the competitor, they're going to look at what's the one X factor we don't have. What is it?
That they're meeting in person.
They're in person, in relationships.
Yep.
Humans are built on relationships.
Yep.
So I'll tell you right now, you will be back at work. And that's why we're saying like the bidding wars and why it's such a good time to buy in the heart of the city is because we've never seen the outskirts outperform the heart of the city ever. It's never happened.
Yeah.
You know? And now it's happening.
Yeah.
I think the offices will definitely go back to it after the 28th because that's when they're like aiming to have masks completely off.
Once Omicron is done, which is, I mean, it's been, you know, we don't want to talk about that much because we get like, you know, blacklisted on this stuff. But like my point is like people will be back at work. It's going to be it.
I also think people just move to the suburbs because they needed the space and are just bored in the suburbs.
Yeah.
I've had a ton of people like, not for us. We want to be back in the city.
I cannot tell you how many people, like like single guys moved out to like Hinsdale.
Or Oak Brook. And
they're like, I can't meet anybody. I'm like, oh, now you're going to bars downtown?
Yeah.
And now you
want to take the
again?
Uber.
But that's the thing. It's like the city, our city is like, hasn't really been open. I mean, we're like one of the 6 cities in the country, okay, out of all the other cities that are still super strict. When everything's reopened again, and when people tell me, oh, they're not, the most strictest people in the world were just at the Super Bowl with their masks off, hugging, kissing, and everything like that. And these are the people who are the most strictest people in the world, okay? Not a single one of them gave a damn about it.
Nope.
Okay? And there was, 60, 70,000 people there? Okay, so it shows me again that I'm right, that people like to be around people. I didn't see that stadium being empty and people watching it from their homes. I saw people paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get tickets to see it in person because they want to be around people. So when we're talking about bidding wars, where do you want to buy to get yourself a deal and not get in a bidding war? You buy downtown. In the meantime, strap in because it's going to be nuts. That's all I got for you guys. We got anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Good tangent at the end. All right. Thanks for listening, guys, to Laricy Live.